These people are just idiots, Reese. They are idiots. But I need everybody watching to understand this is not a game. Project 2025 is what I call a 100-year document. It is a document, it is an agenda that they want to lock down and ram through, because when this nation becomes a nation that's majority people of color in 2043, and with the dwindling birth rates of white people in this country, what these fascists today desperately want is they want America never to look like South Africa. They like, no, oh no, y'all ain't about to. We white folks have rewritten the history of this. We've written the history of this country in a way for us. I talk about when I went off on the History Channel and that bullshit docu-series where they kept talking about Texas independence and never mentioned what they were trying to be independent of, which is they wanted to keep slavery. These people have written history in their own minds, and their whole deal is, if we can strip this nation bare, I mean strip it bare of race, strip it bare of history, then we can restore this purity of whiteness as the defining standard of what America is. I tried to lay this out in my book, White Fear, and all of these mainstream media folk, all of these show hosts, people who I sent books to, they were afraid to even book me on the shows because they are living in denial about the white fear that is happening before our very eyes in America. I'm going to go to you first, Reese.
Yeah, I mean, these people are stupid. They're dumbasses, but they are very insidious and they're very strategic. And so they have been very clever in how they've gone about this by enlisting the bigotry within each of these communities that will never benefit from white, but they don't like this person. They don't like that group. They don't like that group. So they dangle whatever it is that people don't like about that group in front of people to get them on board, to get them to empower Republicans who want to dismantle everything for everybody, for really white billionaires, white, straight, Christo nationalist billionaires. They're willing for everybody to do the dirty work, to be the mules of their white supremacy, but only so many people are going to benefit from them. And they have the power. I mean, let's look at every single metric. White people have the power. They have the most wealth. They have the most power. They have the most disproportionately positive impacts and results from every aspect of this society. But what they also want is the violence. That's what I think this is really all about. That's why they want to glamorize the Confederacy, because that was a time where white people, or certain white people, I should say, violently revolted against the humanity of enslaved people, against a system that disenfranchised violently and stripped people of their humanity, and women, by the way. They were able to violently revolt. Now they lost, because they some sorry ass punk ass bitches and they're treasonous. But now it's been romanticized in a way that they're trying to signal to us they want to see that green light again. That's why one of the first orders of business of Trump was to pardon the DC cop that killed a black person. That's why they are dismantling these consent decrees and they're undoing things. That's why they're deploying military personnel throughout the country. They want the violence. They want to violently subjugate people. Republicans win strictly off of disinformation, misinformation, and voter suppression. Half the country's already checked out. They didn't give a damn that a man who had 35 convictions was running on all of these things in Project 2025, which, by the way, is 42% complete already. They didn't even need to lift a finger to get that happen, but they're not satisfied. They want permanently entrenched power, and they want the ability to violently rule over this country.
Zabor.
I think everything that everyone has said is so important. we know that they have the highest numbers of individuals in jail, but they want it to seem that Black individuals are the individuals that are there, are people of color, are immigrants, are the individuals that are doing all of the crime. But we know that's not the truth. They want to romanticize our history while sitting comfortably in their fragility and entitlement. And us as Black people not taking accountability and understanding that if it's happening to our Latino brothers and sisters, we are next. We can't sit by, be quiet, ignore the things that are happening every day, not participating in the ways that we can. I'm not saying martyr ourselves, but I am saying we have a responsibility to stand up, to fight, and not be quiet. Time for that is over. To assume that it's okay, not hold the people around us accountable, not let them know how their lack of knowledge and inability to hold themselves accountable and hold our family members accountable is impacting us and impacting our immigrants, a place where we are built on immigrants. It's time to stop. It's time to realize that they are coming for us. This is going to take us hundreds and hundreds of years to repair the damage that they are doing. And we have to fight back. That's it. We have to make sure we are protecting our mental health of our kids, our future, and what we're doing now. How are we doing it now? How are we changing? How are we organizing? How are we mobilizing?
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Greg, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
Of all of this, how are we getting our communities together?
All right, is you ready? Do we have Greg?
Greg? Yeah, I'm here. Yeah. Well, I'll keep this brief. The DEI hire, that is the Secretary of the Army, Daniel Driscoll, saying that the United States Army is built for moments like this debacle that's about to happen here in the District of Columbia this Saturday. Might want to remember. Well, he won't because he's a DEI hire, but General Mathis, who I'm sure may have gotten an invitation to be there. It would be interesting to see if these ex-Army guys show up. But remember when Jim Mathis was Secretary of Defense in 2017 and Trump wanted to ruin the streets of D.C. with these heavy-ass tanks and running down the streets? And Mathis said, quote, "I would rather swallow acid than do that." And well, now there's a DEI hire, Daniel Driscoll, in charge of the Army, and he will do it. Another DEI hire, a man famous for being a day drunk and being abusive to women. Of course, his major qualification, given the diversity, equity, and inclusion of whiteness, is his white maleness to be the Secretary, in fact, of Defense, the Pete Hegseth. For him to to carry out this trolling of renaming these ships, the Harriet Tubman, the Medgar Wiley Everest, as you say, and then to replace Robert E. Lee, and of course the clown, whose brain is clearly addled, who is not well mentally, to let seep out of his orange mouth the other day, "We're renaming everything the Robert E. Lee." Okay, you didn't even remember to keep up the cosplay of the brother who you're swapping the name out for, because you're not swapping out the name, and this is the point. They are trolling us. We must stay focused. We must stay focused on the fact that they're going to try now to throw everybody off their health care, as many as they can. They couldn't repeal Obamacare one way, so now defunding it is their strategy. They couldn't go after the Inflation Reduction Act, Joe Biden, so now their way to do it is to starve it with this big BS bill. That is the major thing in front of us right now. Confronting folks in the streets, weaponizing the National Guard, sending active military into the streets, all of that will not pass constitutional muster, and it will be sorted out. In the meantime, trolling, putting your hands on United States senators, trolling, changing names on boats, trolling, all of that is pursuant to the strategy that Steve Bannon said years ago: throw everything against the wall, keep them responding, crisis, crisis, crisis. It's like cats chasing a flashlight beam. If we stay focused, we will be able not only to survive this, but to transcend it. We have to stay focused and we have to stay engaged. You're right, Roland. What we're going to see all over this country on Saturday in terms of this No More Kings piece, it's simple enough. It's like a meme, no more kings, 3 words. And that is going to look like a drop in the bucket as week after week, month after month, the protests get larger. The people get more involved. And I'll end with this. I'm not calling for this. I hope it doesn't happen. But ask yourself what would happen if they put their hands on your mother, on your baby, on your husband or wife. Ask what would happen if they bust in the 6th grade class and snatch your nephew. And you will have the answer to what some of these charged up on DEI white supremacy boys and the Negroes who follow them are going to face when they put their hands on the right one. And at that point, you have all the ingredients for an explosion, and God only knows what happens after that.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.